Okay, so we're back. Last video walked you through the scoring criteria for a rhetorical analysis, and now so we're actually going to put this into practice in looking at a AP release prompt for a JFK text. So this slide kind of goes through the why, how, and so what of a rhetorical analysis. So the why are the choices effective and appropriate for the intended audience? How? What techniques does the writer choose to present the material? And so what? What is accomplished or created? So if you don't do this, you don't have an analysis. So how do we write a rhetorical analysis essay? First, you must analyze the prompt to determine what kind of analysis and what effect to address. You must understand the passage. Deal with hidden questions such as what is this effect? Answer these in the first body paragraph. Given the time, select three techniques to discuss. Keep in mind the type of essay presented by the passage and look for typical techniques for that rhetorical mode. So I'm going to go on over to our prompt for JFK. Well, that's an example. Here's our prompt. Okay. This is what it'll look like on the exam. Okay. So you'll have typically the question number at the top. You'll have the suggested time, which is 40 minutes to write, and then it will tell you that it counts for 1/3 of the total essay section score. And here is the main kicker. Here is your actual prompt, which is very, very important to understand. If you do not understand and break down this prompt, you will not be as fast as analyzing the reading and the passage for you to actually write the essay. So you have to understand the prompt in order to understand the passage. So I like to start out here, and I'm going to make a comment on first. I want to start looking at what are the parts of soapstone. Okay, what are the parts of soapstone in the prompt? All right, so let's take a look at this for a second. I'm going to go ahead and read the prompt, and then we're going to try to think about the rhetorical situation. So every time you read through a prompt, you are thinking about the rhetorical situation and the context for why the speech was written or the passage. On April 10th, 1962, as the United States was emerging from a recession, the nation's largest steel companies raised steel prices by 3.5%. President John F. Kennedy, who had repeatedly called for stable prices and wages as part of a program of national sacrifice during a period of economic distress, held a news conference on April 11th, 1962, which he opened with the following commentary regarding the hike in steel prices. Read Kennedy's remarks carefully, then write an essay in which you analyze the rhetorical strategies President Kennedy uses to achieve his purpose. Support this analysis with specific references to the text. Okay, first few things here. I'm going to go ahead and highlight some of the key words, some of the key indicators in our prompt that's going to help you think about the rhetorical situation. Okay, so the prompt asks you to analyze rhetorical strategies. Okay, and then how does he use it to achieve his purpose? And then the last thing here, make specific references to the text, which is going to be your evidence. Okay, so I'm thinking about here, if I'm going to look and put a text box here. Okay, here's my text box. Identify rhetorical strategies. And connect it to purpose. Okay, so I'll put it over here, put it up here so we can see it. Okay, so let's go back and think about the context. Let's think about the rhetorical situation. Okay, let's think about the rhetorical situation. So our speaker, obviously, who's giving the speech, is John F. Kennedy. Okay, and then let's look at our occasion. So this was a speech. Okay, he held a news conference on April 11th, 1962. So thinking about the setting and the time, he held a conference on 1962 with the following commentary. Okay, so news conference, April 11th, 1962. He addresses the nation about the hike in steel prices. Okay, it goes into our audience. Audience, various news media broadcasting this message to the American public. All right. So we have speaker, occasion, audience. Now we're thinking about the main thing that this prompt is asking us to do. What is this main idea? What's the main indicator that we're going to be writing towards? Thinking about purpose. Okay. What was John F. Kennedy's purpose for giving this speech? Okay, so I'm going to scroll down a little bit so y'all can see here. So his purpose, all right, guys, technology's got me thrown today. So the purpose, I'm thinking about this purpose. He's calling out big steel companies for hiking steel prices and which causes an economic strain in taxation on small to medium size business owners. Okay, so he's speaking on behalf of the American public. He is calling out these steel companies, and he is trying to show his unification with middle class workers, middle class American workers, on why the hike in steel prices is wrong. Okay, so then we're going back. So that's thinking about his big purpose. He's calling out these steel companies. Okay, and now his subject addresses the unethical and unvaluable reasoning behind why big corporations are hurting small businesses with price increases. Okay. And then the last part, his tone. So you're gonna have to read and annotate your text for this, okay? So I walked you through how to break down this prompt. Then you got to think about specific rhetorical strategies. So some of these strategies may be, we're going to think about strategies of um, maybe I'll make a box up here. Rhetorical strategies to think about. Use of diction. What are his word choices? Specific word choices and how it conveys his attitude. Okay. And then I would maybe think about sentence structure and how structure. See, sorry guys, I'm learning with you. And how structure organizes the overall message. So those are just some things, but of course you can think about things like repetition, if he's making any specific references and as far as allusion. Um, Repetition does have to do with sentence structure, but you can think about the appeals. Okay. Big three appeals, and y'all know that's ethos, logos, ethos. He really you're gonna have to read, but he really plays to his credibility and how he's trying to show his unification with middle class America in this. So this gives you started. What I want you to do, I want you to read and annotate the passage itself, and then we're going to get into what a sample rhetorical analysis looks like, and then maybe think about an outline that you can follow. All right, good luck.